Oh, hi everybody! I'm Seth Macy, filling in for Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Google has done it again, as the Stadia is officially no more. That's the head chopping off sound. Plus, Overwatch 2's launch has been spoiled by not one, but two DDoS attacks. That's a DDOS. In the entertainment world, Marvel's Armor Wars series has been upgraded to a movie, and it's all but confirmed who will be under the Black Panther suit in Wakanda forever. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and let's jump right into it, shall we?
In both shocking and not really shocking news, Google has decided to begin winding down its video game streaming service, Stadia. In a new blog post, the company revealed it made the difficult decision to slowly kill the service after it revealed Stadia, quote, hasn't gained the traction with users that we expected. Google announced it would be refunding users for all Stadia hardware, all games, and add-on purchases made via the Google or Stadia store since its launch in 2019. Users will be able to play through to January 18, 2023, when Stadia servers will be shut down. Users will expect refunds to be completed by mid-January 2023, but anyone who owned a Stadia Pro subscription as of today, September 29th, will not be eligible for a refund. Though Pro subscribers will be able to continue to play their games in Pro without further charges until the official shutdown date, it begs the question if this is a good trade-off. According to Stadia's Help Center, quote, most hardware purchases, Stadia Controller, Founders Edition, Premier Edition, and Play and Watch with Google TV packages made directly from Google will not need to be returned. Stadia users will no longer be able to purchase games moving further as all commerce on the platform has been disabled, and any future pre-orders will be canceled and not charged. Google warns that no location, whether Google Store, Best Buy, etc., will accept the return of hardware, nor can they process any returns or refunds. All refunds will be processed in time, and owners should expect an email providing instructions on the refund process soon. The news has shocked users who have been deeply committed to the platform, and even devs like Mike Rose from No More Robot HQ. Rose took to Twitter clearly baffled by the announcement, as the studio has a game coming to Stadia in November, begging the question if Google would refuse to pay the studio what they are owed. You know, I think IGN's own Max Scoville foreshadowed this news.
This 4-player kart racer is coming to everything, including Stadia, where I would be amazed if there were more than 3 players globally. Go on, all 3 of you, sound off.
In other news, Sony is offering better customer support, but only to those who pay for it. As reported by VGC, Sony's PlayStation Stars loyalty program launched in Japan today, and users are already complaining about the service's 4th tier, which offers subscribers improved customer support. Users will be able to move up tiers by buying 4 games from the PlayStation Store and earning 128 rare trophies, which kind of means people spending more money will receive better support from Sony. How it works is when users contact the PlayStation customer support service, they will be offered a priority queue, allowing for customers to speak to a rep faster than those who've spent less. As of now, the PlayStation Stars reward is not guaranteed to arrive in North America, Europe, or any other region. But if it does, you'll also get a cool series of virtual collectibles, which are not NFTs. So, great, I guess? Next month's PlayStation Plus games were revealed, and although no horror games have been announced yet, we got some good games to look forward to. First up is Hot Wheels Unleashed, the full-size arcade racer featuring fun-sized cars. In addition to 12-player online races, there's also a single-player offline mode that'll unlock a garage of 60 extremely detailed Hot Wheels cars, not counting DLC. If that's not enough, you can also customize cars to your heart's content or design your own courses. IGN gave this remarkably cute racer a 9 out of 10, so you know it'll be a fun ride. That's not the only 9 out of 10 game dropping on PlayStation Plus this month. You can also make your favorite DC characters beat the ever-loving crap out of each other in Injustice 2, the fighting game from the studio behind Mortal Kombat. Obviously, there's local and online multiplayer, but don't sleep on the single player that sees Batman and company fight against evil Superman's regime. Speaking of super things, the final game is super hot, an incredibly fun twist to a first-person shooter. The twist being that the game only moves when you do, which makes shooting dudes and dodging bullets feel more like solving a puzzle. IGN only gave Superhot a 7.5 out of 10 due to its tedious story, but it's a completely unique game that offers an intensely fun challenge once you wrap your head around it. All 3 games will be available to PlayStation Plus subscribers of all tiers from October 4th until October 31st, so don't sleep on these gems. Speaking of subscriptions, Xbox games with gold for October were announced, and although they're not bad games, it's not much to write home about. The single-player survival game Windbound is available starting October 1st. You take control of Kara, a warrior that washes up on the shores of the mysterious Forbidden Island. And you've got to do the usual survival stuff like collecting resources, crafting, and building shelter, and ultimately uncover the secrets of the Forbidden Island. The high-stakes, in-depth management sim Bomber Crew will be available October 16th to November 15th. Don't let the adorable graphics fool you. This chaotic real-time World War II aircraft simulation has you managing the crew on board a bomber, extinguishing flames, resuscitating downed crewmates, and lining bombs, all while trying not to crash. Games with Gold is ditching Xbox 360 games in October, instead focusing on Xbox One titles. This news, coupled with this sparse lineup, makes you wonder if maybe Xbox is trying to nudge people towards Game Pass, which, if you're in the market for a game subscription service, seems like a no-brainer.
The long-awaited and much-hyped Overwatch 2 finally went live yesterday and immediately got hit with a DDoS attack. This kept players from actually playing the game, as many were stuck in queue lines tens of thousands of people long, or saw various error messages relating to server issues. DDoS attacks basically involve the attackers overwhelming the target servers, which prevents regular users from accessing the service. Blizzard President Mike Ibarra addressed the issues on Twitter yesterday, saying, quote, "Unfortunately, we are experiencing a mass DDoS attack on our servers. Teams are working hard to mitigate/manage. This is causing a lot of drop/connection issues." Overwatch 2 director Aaron Keller also chimed in last night, saying that while they were working through the issues of the DDoS attack, a second attack occurred. Keller assured fans that the team is working diligently to overcome this, saying, quote, "We're all hands on deck and will continue to work throughout the night." While connection issues on launch day are common for major multiplayer games, it's unfortunate that Overwatch 2's problems actually stem from a person or group of people acting maliciously. Come on guys, just be chill and let us play the game. Did you try playing a few rounds of Overwatch last night, and did you get stuck in a queue with 40,000 people like some of us did? Let us know in the comments. In Sony news, the PlayStation Stars program is now live if you live in North or South America. Don't worry, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, you'll be getting in next week, and for those in other parts of Asia, you'll get access later this month. PlayStation Stars is a loyalty program that allows you to earn points with real cash value. Points can be redeemed for things like PSN wallet funds, PlayStation Store products, digital collectibles that are not NFTs, and even super exclusive and rare items if you are the first to platinum a specific game. Points can be earned through various means like earning trophies or completing games. Signing up is totally free, so head over to PlayStation.com if you're interested.
Aloy may be getting The Last of Us remake treatment, as reports indicate a remaster of 2017's Horizon Zero Dawn is in the works. According to a report by VGC and MP First, it claimed a remastered version of Horizon Zero Dawn will add, quote, accessibility features, graphic modes, and quality of life improvements to the gameplay itself. This includes improvements to the original with better animation, lighting, and textures that would mimic upgrades made to The Last of Us. This could all be a part of Sony's plan to remaster games that are scheduled to be adapted for TV or film, and considering Sony announced a Horizon series for Netflix, this doesn't seem like too bad an idea. The plan could capitalize on renewed interest in the series when it premieres, similar to how Cyberpunk Edge Runners bolstered Cyberpunk 2077's concurrent player count. In addition, the report also claimed Guerrilla Games is developing a Horizon multiplayer game for PlayStation 5 and PC. Back in 2014, VGC noted that some Horizon Zero Dawn concept art hinted at plans to add a Monster Hunter-like multiplayer mode to the game, where players would team up to hunt massive creatures, but the project was never realized. If this turns out to be a standalone game, the collective releases of both the remastered and a multiplayer game could see Sony's plans pay off as new fans from the Netflix series join the fandom. And Sony's plans don't just stop there, as the company is expecting to produce 2 million units of PlayStation VR 2 headsets ahead of its 2023 release date. According to Bloomberg, sources say Sony began production in September, which will continue through March 2023, with a tentative release date around the end of production. As of now, Sony's official release date window for the headset is listed as, quote, early 2023, which is extremely vague, but barring any unforeseen part shortages or new supply chain issues, this timeline seems feasible. Though the PSVR 2 will not be backwards compatible, it will launch with more than 20 games, with Ghostbusters VR, Resident Evil Village, and Horizon Call of the Mountain confirmed. One thing that is not confirmed for PSVR 2 is its price point, which will undoubtedly be a make or break factor for a lot of consumers.
In a surprise Twitter reveal today, CD Projekt Red announced the code names and descriptions for 5 new games. In an MCU reveal-like fashion, the official Twitter account rolled out title cards for 3 new Witcher games, another Cyberpunk game, and a brand new IP. And these are all stated to be full-size games, not DLC or expansions. Orion is the code name for the next Cyberpunk game, so Edgerunners fans can rejoice in more stories being told in the dark future universe. Orion will also be developed by a brand new CD Projekt studio set up in the US. Polaris is a code name for the next installment in the Witcher video game series and will mark the start of a new trilogy that will be released over the course of 6 years. Canis Majoris is another full-fledged Witcher game separate from the new trilogy, which will be developed by an external studio that wasn't named. I'm wondering if Polaris is set in the existing game universe and Canis Majoris is tied to the Netflix show, or vice versa. But anyways, Sirius is codenamed for a game set in the Witcher universe that will involve multiplayer gameplay on top of a single-player experience, complete with campaign and quests. So basically a games as a service. Then finally, codename Hadar was announced as an entirely distinct intellectual property made from scratch within CDPR. This last one is a long ways off and is only in the earliest stages of pre-production, but it's pretty exciting to think about a brand new CDPR IP. While I'm super happy CDPR is being transparent about the future and projects, I genuinely hope that the experience from Cyberpunk 2077's development and release will be utilized to create better launch experiences for both the players and the devs. In unlikely news, the modding community has figured out how to jailbreak the PlayStation 5. So, of course, gamers are already using this exploit to install PT. You know, that infamous Silent Hills demo that was even more famously delisted by Konami. PlayStation modder Spectre Dev revealed the jailbreak was an experimental IPv6 kernel exploit for the PS5, which relies on a WebKit vulnerability as an entry point. So if your PS5 is running the firmware 4.03 that was released in October 2021, you can jailbreak it, but it still only has a chance of working about 30% of the time. Another modder, Lance McDonald, showcased the install of PT on his PS5. However, it is unfortunate to note that the exploit grants you read/write access, but you can't actually execute anything you install, so you can install PT, but you can't launch it. So with that in mind, maybe it's not worth voiding your warranty and risking your PlayStation Network account being banned.
It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, Todd McFarlane's Spawn reboot hires the writers of Joker and Captain America New World Order, and I, for one, am freaking stoked. Also, we discuss why Marvel decided to turn the Armor Wars series into a film, so we will see you in a bit. Welcome back! The official trailer for Wakanda Forever just dropped, and it basically confirms who will be the new Black Panther. But before that, Don Cheadle is heading back to the big screen since Marvel's Armor Wars series is reportedly being turned into a feature-length movie. Let's find out why that might be. Put on your thinking caps.
Marvel Studios is switching up its plans for the Disney Plus series Armor Wars. Now, the upcoming project starring Don Cheadle as War Machine will now be redeveloped as a feature film for a theatrical release. Now, according to The Hollywood Reporter, the studio was committed to making sure it told the lengthy story of the Armor Wars the right way, and apparently realized during the process of developing the series, in order to do it right, the project needed a bigger runway. Now, it makes sense as the Armor Wars 7-issue story arc in the Iron Man comics was host to many different Marvel heroes and villains. Now, it also explored Tony Stark's concerns about how his armor technology was being used and his dismay upon finding out certain bad guys were using it to further their sinister plans. Now, Tony Stark was obviously a very pivotal character to this storyline, and Don Cheadle's War Machine will likely take up the mantle for him in Stark's absence in the MCU. But Rhodey likely won't be going into this war alone. Ironheart will be introduced later this year in the upcoming Black Panther 2 movie, and she's also getting her very own Disney Plus series next year, which could potentially set up some of the events we'll see in the Armor Wars film. As of right now, there's no director attached to the Armor Wars movie, but Marvel is apparently looking at kicking off production in 2023. Now, in other news, fans of the Community series are getting their very own movie. Yeah, now Dan Harmon got the green light from Peacock, with the majority of the cast returning to reprise their roles, save for Yvette Nicole Brown and Donald Glover. Now, they've yet to be confirmed, and Chevy Chase is probably not invited back to the party for obvious reasons y'all all remember. Anyways, Harmon will both write and executive produce the movie. Now, I personally doubt Donald Glover will return to reprise his role for the film, as he's drastically changed throughout the course of his career since that particular role, but only time will tell. Now, he'll lose a lot of street cred in my opinion. Anyways, it's a long shot also, but maybe we'll see the Russo brothers come back to direct the film. Would you look at that? Finally, McDonald's is offering up adult Happy Meal toys to the happy kids that are adults, as if we weren't already shamelessly buying the kids' versions as grown-ass adults. Anyways, in partnership with streetwear brand Cactus Plant Flea Market, the meal boxes will include one of 4 little buddies, the recognizable Mickey D's gang and Cactus Buddy. That's Cactus Plant Flea Market's mascot. The promotion kicks off throughout the month of October, and for the hype beasts out there, yes, you can expect some Cactus Plant Flea Market McDonald's merch to hit the fashion brand's website along with the promotion. Without explicitly telling us, the latest Wakanda Forever trailer has all but confirmed who the new Black Panther is going to be in the MCU. Now, the roughly 2-minute long trailer gives us a glimpse of the contentious relations the Wakandans will have with Namor and his underwater kingdom. Now, the trailer ends with a scene that shows us Shuri standing in a room as her mother states it's time to show them who we are. Now, the next scene then reveals the full Black Panther suit, the new suit. And if there was any doubt based on the first trailer that this new Black Panther is female, well, this latest one confirms it is. Now, it doesn't exactly confirm Shuri is behind the mask, but based on some toy images that leaked last month, we can assume it's more than likely her. Plus, Shuri has donned the mask and suit in the comics, so it makes sense to have her carry on T'Challa's legacy in the MCU. Now, if not her, then who else could it be? It's obviously not going to be Killmonger in that suit, so anyone speculating or hoping for his return can just nip that in the bud. Now, bringing Killmonger back would negate the events of the first movie. Ryan Coogler is a creative writer, and I'm pretty sure he's able to string together a cohesive and engaging story that'll match the impact of the first film. And we'll find out when Wakanda Forever hits theaters November 11th. Look at my boy Mario right there. Now, in other news, Nintendo has unveiled the official site for its newly rebranded subsidiary, Nintendo Pictures. It's kind of on the nose there, but hey, I guess it works. Formerly known as Dynamo Pictures Inc., the studio will focus on developing visual content for Nintendo IPs, which is vague but exciting nonetheless. Now, previously, the studio provided CG animation for a handful of video games, which you can check out on the site. Now, it's extremely possible this means new TV and movies based on Nintendo IPs, ideally kicking off the Smash cinematic universe at some point. But it could also just be an in-house means of developing CG trailers and cutscenes for games. Now, we'll see what Nintendo has up its sleeves when we finally get a glimpse of the Mario movie at New York Comic-Con later this week. Now, keep an eye on IGN for more coverage. And there's my girl Blue with Steve. Finally, there's gonna be a Blue's Clues movie with all the Steve variants. Now, there's actually just one Steve, but he'll be joined by his cousins Joe and Josh. Now, if you haven't been following the Blue's Clues lore, it goes as follows. After Steve decided to abandon his pet dog, Blue, she was left in the care of his cousin Joe. That was until Joe got tired of constantly searching for clues around his house and having to document paw prints in his handy-dandy notebook. So he pawned Blue off on his other cousin, Josh. Now, Blue's Clues, I made that up, everybody, but it kind of did happen. Anyways, Blue's Clues originally premiered over 26 years ago, and any normal dog would be long dead by now. But instead, Blue and all her various owners will reunite in New York for one last mystery filled with talking salt shakers and Ted from Bill and Ted. Now, I have no idea how much of what I said previously is true, but Ted is in the movie. Y'all can check it out when Blue's Big City Adventure on Paramount Plus hits Paramount Plus November 18th.
Speaking to IGN, the comics legend revealed that new writers have signed on to pen the screenplay. Scott Silver, who worked on Joker, Malcolm Spellman, whose credits include The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and the upcoming Captain America New World Order, as well as Matthew Mixon, who is less of a known quantity, but who wrote and directed the 2016 indie documentary Yesterday Was Everything. Previously, Broken City writer Brian Tucker had been working on a Spawn screenplay, but apparently the new writers will be starting fresh from the ground up. McFarlane is still attached to direct and is co-producing alongside Jason Blum. Jamie Foxx is still set to play the titular Hellspawn Al Simmons, but this movie is likely still a few years out. Well, you know what they say, it's a long, hard road out of hell, and that applies to development hell too. And Todd assured us he's well aware fans are impatient and he's just as frustrated with the lack of momentum, but the goal here is to get the story right, not meet any kind of deadline. In the meantime, Spawn fans have the publication of Batman Spawn #1 to look forward to, which sees the two angry caped crime fighters teaming up for the first time since the 90s. It also reunites McFarlane with longtime Spawn collaborator Greg Capullo, who has since become a mainstay at DC Comics. Based on pre-sales alone, the crossover is already shaping up to be one of the best-selling comics of the year. Hopefully this success gives the Spawn movie a little kick in the ass. Come on, Jamie Foxx is Spawn? Speaking of movies where superheroes come back from the dead, the Scarlet Witch herself, Elizabeth Olsen, revealed that the stars of Avengers Infinity War didn't know the blip would be happening until the day they shot it. Speaking to Variety, the actress explained how much the stars were kept in the dark during production, saying, quote, "I just get my pages so I understand the part of the story I'm fulfilling. I get a story that is told to me from the Russos about what's happening in the rest of the movie, and it isn't in the script that everyone gets blipped." Apparently, the day of shooting that scene, Olsen and the Earth's Mightiest co-stars assembled in a trailer where they were shown a pre-visualization of the scene, and the Russo brothers, the film's directors, explained, "This is what's happening, you guys will disappear," which was apparently quite a shock to the cast, who'd assumed the film would end very differently. Access to Infinity War's script was extremely limited, and it was kept on one specific iPad, which was kept locked inside an office that was manned around the clock by a security guard. Considering how much bigger the MCU will have gotten by the time the next Avengers movie comes out, we wouldn't be surprised if they kept the script in a specifically designed cell on board a SHIELD helicarrier. If you're a PlayStation 5 owner and you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, well, first, sorry for spoiling it with the last story, but also, great news, you can now play MCU catch-up thanks to Disney Plus finally getting a dedicated app. Disney Plus has been available on PS5, but only by way of the PS4 app, which sadly capped visuals at 1080p. The new version will feature 4K high dynamic range for all supported titles on the streaming service and can be downloaded under the Media tab.
For the brave jungle players in League of Legends, there are some massive changes coming, including some super cute ones. In the 2023 preseason, Riot is replacing the old jungle items with a new pet system that implements different buffs depending on the pet you have. There's a total of 3 different pets you can have: a cat, salamander, and fox. Each pet will give you specific buffs, like the salamander providing a shield and better defenses, while the fox gives you more speed and utility, and the cat rewards aggressive players with more slows and increased damage. You can buy the pets in the store, and as you play in your match, they'll evolve and grow. As you feed them treats you get from killing enemies, killing neutral monsters. This new pet system, along with a few other quality of life changes, will be arriving in League November 16th for the 2023 preseason. I don't play League anymore, but if I still did, I would definitely buy the cat pet just all the time. If you were watching ESL Pro League this weekend, then you know that some exciting CSGO matches happened. Simple performed out of his mind, but we're focusing on Team Vitality today. Vitality's ZywOo set a huge record with the all-time high for most kills in a single series with a whopping 143 kills. Team Vitality won over Team Liquid 3-2 in the Pro League finals with ZywOo's incredible performance. The previous record was set by coldzera from 00 Nation, who had 130 kills in the 2017 Epicenter finals when he was playing for SK Gaming. ZywOo set the record over coldzera with 14 more kills, and Team Vitality will go on to compete to qualify for 2022 IEM Rio later today, so best of luck to them.
I'm Seth Macy, filling in for Stella Chung, and that was your weekly fix. We'll be back here next Saturday. Well, I probably won't be, but people that you really like will be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. We, they, not I, perhaps will see you then.